Ja, hallo zusammen, einen wunderschönen guten Abend. Heute endlich mal wieder ein Livestream und ich habe mir heute wieder einen Gast aus Irland geholt. I would like to welcome David from Shortcross. Hello, great to have you here on the stream tonight.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Nice to be here with you all.
So yeah, it's an honor to have you here. We know each other since a long time, I think since 2015, 2016.
Yeah, long time.
Long time, and now we're finally having a live stream together. It's really nice. So maybe you can tell the people a bit, where are you working? What are you doing? What's your position? Yeah.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is David Boyd-Armstrong. I'm the co-founder of Rademon Estate Distillery, along with my wife, Fiona. And I'm also the head distiller here. So I have all the fun and games of distilling our Irish whiskey, our gins, and the other spirits that we produce here.
Yeah, really nice. I think this is a really interesting job.
It's a fun job. It's a lot of hard work. But
yes,
you can try lots of interesting things.
Yeah, great. Yeah, I think mostly the really interesting jobs are also lots of work, sometimes hard work, but it's kind of a passion.
Yeah, it is this, and this is where our distillery came about. It was for my wife Fiona. It was her passion to bring back the lost art of distilling back home to Ireland, and really being at the forefront of the sort of the new wave of Irish distilleries. So at Rademon Estate, we are a small craft distillery. We're known for our gins over the last sort of 7-8 years. But what people don't know is that we've been quietly making Irish whiskey from the summer of 2015, so over 7 years now. So from our gins, our classic Shortcross gin, which we're going to try tonight, was really our attempt to capture the essence of our home here at Rademon. So it's all about the botanicals that we forage. And that's a theme that we have through all of our gins. Is we always take inspiration either from our home or from our travels. From our whiskey perspective, we are primarily a malt whiskey distillery, and you should make what you love, and I love malt whiskey. And along with that, we produce peated malt. I am an absolute diehard peated malt fan, and people maybe see a little bit of that later this year. But tonight we're going to try one of the whiskies that we have most fun creating, which is our rye and malt whiskey, where we use both malted barley and malted rye, and we age that in a combination of interesting casks, and I'll say a little bit about that later.
Yeah, and I remember that you are really peathead, because when we visited you, you were silently making whiskey, but this was one of the first runs of peated whiskey you did there.
Yeah, and that must have been very early in 2016.
Yes, yes. Yeah. And you filled it in a really special casks, and we were allowed to try it. So this was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be great to see this on the market anytime. Yeah.
It's coming, don't worry.
Yes. I can imagine.
We had some guests on Friday from America.
Yeah.
That got to try that cask. So it was actually a cognac and orange liqueur cask. So people actually got to finally try it after 6.5 years in the cask. So it's a pretty special whiskey. So it might come out later this year.
Yeah, great to hear. So maybe we start with the gin now, and then we go through the whiskey a bit later.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna try our classic Shortcross gin. This is our first product, and when Fiona and I set out to create this particular gin, it was all about creating a gin that reminded us of our home on the estate. So we forage 4 of our key botanicals. So we take elderflowers and elderberries from the forest beside the distillery. We take wild clover from the lawns, and we also take apples from an 18th century walled garden on the estate. And those 4 botanicals are all about giving the gin a sense of terroir, a sense of place. and linking it back to our home. And with that, then we use more traditional gin botanicals, juniper, coriander seed, citrus peels, cinnamon, and cassia bark to build out the recipe.
I love the smell of this gin.
Yeah. So on the nose, it's all about the elderflower and the clover. And it's for us when we nose this, we close our eyes and we think of the forests and gardens here in the summertime.
Yeah.
And it just has that nice juniper backbone along the way.
Yeah, but your gardens are more a park than a garden. It's huge.
Yeah, well, that's true. We actually are listed we're situated in a historic park. So it is. So yeah, it's a special place. People should come visit. Now that COVID passed,
definitely.
you should come visit.
Yes. Go and visit Shortcross Distillery.
Yeah. So to taste.
Yeah.
There's nice clean juniper to the fore. Behind it, the bright sweetness of the citrus comes through. And with that, then the the elderberry, the sweet oiliness of the elderberries begin to build and coat your mouth. And then you get that lovely, long, smooth finish with just a little bit of pepperiness coming in from the juniper at the end.
Yeah.
But you'll find that this is quite a full-bodied gin. And what we find is that people that like whiskey and not so sure about gin tend to love our gin because it has that complexity and the weight and the mouthfeel with it.
Yeah, it's lots of complexity. It's really, really nice. And what I always think about when I taste this gin, normally you taste a gin as a gin tonic. And when we were at your distillery, my husband doesn't like tonic. So you were telling us, take this gin, take a peel of grapefruit, put it in the gin, and you will have a really nice drink. And I always have to remember this when we drink this gin because it's really nice then.
Yeah, okay. The citrus just pulls out all the other interesting flavors. And when I create my gins, as you'll see later, I'm a massive fan of citrus as a flavor. And our gin works really well as a sipping gin. Sometimes just on its own with ice, it's just a nice change.
Yeah. You do not really need tonic. You can just sit down, sip it. It's really nice. Yeah.
And of course, I should say our gins are distilled on our Christian Carl stills from Germany. So with our stills, we actually use 2 columns, which help us to create a smoother, more floral, more sweeter style of spirit. It is. So they're key to the process as well.
When people want to have a gin tonic with your gin, which tonic would you recommend?
We'd recommend a good premium tonic water, be it Fever Tree or Thomas Henry, in their sort of classic Indian tonic water styles.
Yeah.
I'd recommend a fresh orange zest garnish. And if you want to take a twist on our classic Shortcross, we would also recommend trying it with an elderflower tonic water with fresh mint and orange zest to garnish as well.
I definitely have to try this.
Especially while it's still summer.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, it's still hot here in Germany, but next week it should be a bit colder. We had like a heat wave since 8 weeks. So I think we are all looking forward to get a bit colder weather.
Yeah, it's been the same here. It's 34 degrees inside every day in the distillery.
Oh, that's hot.
Interesting.
Lots of sweating. So you need to drink a lot, but not your alcohol.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. Okay. So this is really nice. So this is like your core product. I think the first product you ever had on the market. And which it's 46 ABV, so it's not a very low ABV for gin.
No. It's bottled at 46% because the alcohol is what carries the delicate flavors of the clover and the elderflower, So it needs that backbone to really allow those flavors to be showcased. But even at that strength, it's an exceptionally smooth gin. There's no harshness or roughness with it.
Yeah, that's right. You can just sit down, drink it, and it's really nice. Yeah, great. So maybe we move forward to the second gin.
Okay, so we're gonna try our Rosie's Garden gin,
Yeah,
which is our pink gin. And this gin we created back in 2018. It pays homage to my wife Fiona, her mother Rose, so it's named after her mum. And it was a gin recipe that we created from scratch, and it was all about trying to create a sugar-free pink gin.
Yeah, it's really surprising when you taste it.
So what we do is as part of the process, we vapor infuse lavender and chamomile, and we take some of the lavender from the estate for this gin, and we vapor infuse them to give the subtleties of the flavors. And then the gin itself, we macerate in fresh strawberries and raspberries, and that's where we get the color and the flavor of the fruit. So you get the sweet, you get the flavor of strawberries and raspberries, but not the hit of all the sugar.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it's like when you see it, you have definitely a really massive pink, and you think you get a really sweet gin, and then you taste it, and you think like, okay, there are fruits, there's good fruitiness, but there's also lots of spices in it. So I like it. It's really interesting.
Yeah. What we wanted to do was to say this, the sugar-free bit was really key to us, but also we wanted to create a pink gin that still tasted of juniper. So it wasn't just and it wasn't a liqueur. So for us, it has the juniper up front, but it has the flavors of the strawberries, the raspberries, the lavender, the chamomile. We also use a little bit of lime in there, which helps punch up the citrus element too.
Yeah.
So it's a gin that we've had a lot of fun trying in cocktails.
Yeah, I can imagine.
It is.
Yeah.
And it's won double gold at the San Francisco World Spirits Competition in 2020.
Wow. Yeah. And it's very good price. So we sell it under 30 euros. So it's a really... So what I like is you get high quality spirits from your distillery, all to a very good price value. And also the Shortcross gin is 37 euros. So it's, you get really good spirit for a good price.
Yeah. We do this because we love it. We want to create the best products that we can. So for us, it's all about the quality, not the volume of the products that we produce.
Yeah. And this you can see really in your products, and also on your distillery site, how you build it and what you were developing, and it's really nice. Yeah.
So will we do a tasting of the pink gin?
Yeah.
Okay.
We do. You have to try it. I was sending a sample of this, or giving a sample of this, to Julia Nune, and you know her.
Yes.
And that was so funny because she's the gin queen. Yeah, she did a lot of gins, and then she was like, a pink gin, and I said, yes, taste it. And she was like, there is no sweetness. This is so cool. Yeah.
Yeah, the no sweetness is really cool.
Yeah.
So on the nose, the fruit, the strawberries and raspberries are really clear on the nose.
Yeah.
And behind that, there's hints of the lavender and the chamomile as well.
Yeah.
But there's also those sort of woven behind that, there's hints of juniper as well.
Yeah, that's right. Definitely got them.
To taste the juniper leads, but behind that, the strawberries and raspberries really come through. There's sort of the floral undertones of the lavender and chamomile,
Yeah.
and then the citrus starts to come through. But it's a very soft, very smooth gin, and you're
Yeah.
getting all the nice flavors of the strawberries and the raspberries, but you're not having to worry about the sugar being there.
No, what I can imagine is also for this gin, like just the neat gin, ice, or lots of frozen berries in it, and then have a drink. I think that's really nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been doing a little bit of a twist with this at the distillery.
Mm-hmm.
So we serve it with a Sicilian lemonade,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pellegrino, and then we garnish it with really fresh Amalfi lemon zest.
Yeah.
And the lemon zest helps actually bring out more of the fruit. And it's a
Mm-hmm.
really, really nice serve for maybe someone that doesn't like tonic water but likes gin, or is just getting into gin and just wanting to try something a little bit different.
This sounds good. This sounds really good. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's that's my favorite way of enjoying this gin.
Mm-hmm. So with some
We
lemonade.
also, oh sorry, we also in winter we
Yeah.
do this as a hot gin toddy.
Okay.
So so we build the fruit up and then we have it as a hot serve, and that works really, really well. So it's a nice alternative to a hot whiskey.
Good to know when it's getting colder in October, November, then we can enjoy the gin warm. That's really
Yeah.
nice to see.
And if you've not had a hot gin serve, you've missed out. So please do try it.
Yeah, so what we have, I created that last winter, and I think that might work really good with the standard Shortcross gin. You know, mullet wine?
Yes.
Yeah, and I did that with gin. So I heated up apple juice, put in lots of spices, and then some oranges, and then put in gin there. Ah, this is so nice.
Oh, that
Yeah.
sounds good. That sounds like a nice drink for Christmas Day morning.
Yes. Yes. But I think that might work better with the Shortcross gin. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
definitely.
you need to try that when it's colder. I can send you the recipe.
Don't worry. We've got about one day of sunny weather and then the rain's coming back.
Yeah. Okay. So then enjoy the last sunny day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Yeah, this is also really nice, Jen. And I like the twist, and I like how you can enjoy your products and not just like putting all tonic on there, and that's fine. So there are varieties how to enjoy it. It's really good.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it's it. We always, when we create our products, we always have a clear idea of how we want them to be enjoyed and what we want to do. So I think our Rosie's Garden gin was not what people expected us to do. So
Yeah.
especially with the sugar-free angle, but it is a really special gin as well.
Yeah, that's right. So Tina says it's nice Christmas drink when you have to meet your whole family that day. Yeah, we don't have really a Christmas morning here in Germany, but Tina, we can do that on Saturday morning. I will meet Tina on Friday and Saturday on a whiskey event, and there we will also enjoy your whiskey on Saturday. And so
Excellent.
maybe Tina, we should do for the group a really nice drink on Saturday morning.
I like her mindset for Christmas Day.
Yes. It might make the day a bit easier.
Yeah, maybe not
Yeah.
the cooking, but easier.
Yeah. Ah, really good. Yeah, so we have one more gin. So
Two more
citrus
gins.
drizzle. And I never can remember this name. I call it sizzle drizzle.
Okay,
I don't know why. It's always sizzle drizzle.
Okay, so this is our citrus drizzle gin,
Yes.
and in the midst of COVID last year, I wanted to create a really fun and uplifting gin. As I said, both Fiona and I really love citrus. So with this recipe, we use apples and pears that we take from the walled garden in the estate. We use some blackberries from the hedgerows on the estate, and then we use orange peel, lemon peel, and then fresh citrus slices, or sorry, fresh slices of grapefruit. And the grapefruit was all about really lifting up the citrus element and making
Hmm.
a really fun and interesting gin for summer. So
Okay. So we have to try it.
we had to.
Yes.
It's five
To be
o'clock somewhere.
honest, I haven't tried it before, and I'm looking
Okay.
forward to try it now because I'm a really big citrus fan. It's,
Yeah.
yeah. Drinks where citrus is in are mine.
Yeah.
Just need to get a glass. Ooh, yeah.
So on the nose, the evidence of the grapefruit will be really there. So we actually vapor infuse the fresh grapefruit for this recipe.
Yeah.
And again, the
Oh, yeah.
juniper just undertones are always there with this gin.
Yeah. But you have a really nice citrus note.
The taste straight away, you get the orange, the lemon, the
Yeah.
grapefruit builds, starts to come up the back of your mouth. The sweetness of the blackberry starts to come through. And then it's just that nice, in this case, it's a nice light finish, little bit of pepper, but generally really, really smooth and fruity.
Mm. I really like that you have this citrus notes, but it's not artificial.
Yeah.
Because often when you have those citrus drinks, the notes get really fast artificial.
Mm-hmm.
And here I can also think about having this with lemonade.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then pushing up the citrus tones again. So yeah, I really like it. It's really nice.
Yeah. One of the things is with all of our gins, we do not add any flavorings or essences like a lot of other gin producers. So it's all about how we distill the botanicals to extract the flavors and the aromas from them. And when we vapor infuse the fresh slices of grapefruit, the aroma in the distillery was just fabulous.
Yeah.
It's almost like your recipe for mulled wine, that sort of real sweetness of this citrus just enveloping everything.
Yeah.
So this is actually my favorite gin for summertime here.
Yeah.
One of the ways that I really enjoy this is as a dry martini with a
Hmm.
nice lemon zest garnish.
Yeah. Yeah. I can imagine that. This is, yeah, it's like the perfect summer gin. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Yeah.
it's also a gin that's really flexible.
Hmm.
You know, gin and tonic, gin and soda, gin and lemonade are straight into cocktails.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's one that we enjoy making, and it's one that we enjoy to consume as well.
But I think it's getting autumn. I can also imagine this one to my apple mullet wine
Yeah.
because
Or if
the
you want to,
apple and citrus.
yeah, if you want
Yeah.
to twist on a winter gin and tonic, try it with a wedge of orange and a cinnamon quill.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just draw out the spice.
You get more spices. Yeah. That's also really nice. Yeah. Okay. I can say until now, I like all the products.
Okay.
But I also know the last two ones, and they are also really, really good.
Yeah. So I
The
think next we have our Cascades gin.
yeah.
So this is a gin that we've distilled and then we have matured for 2.5 years. in casks that had previously held a cognac and orange liqueur. And what we wanted to do was to heighten the citrus element of the gin and also bring out more sweetness in it.
Yeah. And I know we had a cask aged gin in 2016, 2017 from you. Oh, your picture is standing.
So there's no coloring added to it. So all the color you see is extracted from the cask. And this is our third edition of our cask aged gin series. We always do these as limited editions because they're a lot of fun. And I like cask aged products, so
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, and we had the first one we had here in Germany. And what I really like, it's hard to open, but I really like this is waxed.
Yeah, the gold wax is kind of cool.
Yeah, it's golden. It's really, really nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
You just need a knife to open it, but it looks really nice. I think when you smell this, your first thought is not really like, oh, I have a gin in the glass.
Mm. Yeah. So on the nose, the cognac note is there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first note that sort of comes through. Then I get sort of spiced orange. And then the juniper starts to come through.
Maybe I get also some lemon. Lots of orange, but also some lemon. But yeah,
So
really nice.
The cask itself it's European oak, so it's Quercus petraea. So it's not that dominant sweetness. It's a little bit more robust and structured.
Yeah. Just the smell is so nice.
Yeah, this is why I like cask aged gins. I could smell them all evening. They're just so beautiful.
Yeah. And this is definitely a product which you can just enjoy neat.
The only problem with this is that they're all more or less single cask releases. So once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
So taste-wise, you definitely get the cognac up front. The orange element comes through, starts to sweeten, and then the juniper starts to come through as well.
Yeah.
And I just get layers of the cognac, orange liqueur, juniper comes through, and then I start to get green apple and pear.
Yeah.
Towards the end. It's very, very sweet, and the sweetness comes from the cask.
Yeah. Do you recommend to mix it, or do you just say no, it's neat?
My preference is I like this as a sipping gin over ice, but it makes a really nice it makes a really nice gin and tonic as well. Or for those that like gin cocktails, we serve this at the distillery as a gin old fashioned.
Okay.
So Cascade gin, ice, and then some orange bitters and some Angostura bitters.
Yeah, this sounds really good. Yeah. I had it in a gin tonic last week, and I definitely enjoyed it. But I think the product is too good to go in a gin tonic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. I think after 2 years in the past, you just want to enjoy it as it is.
Yes, yeah. It's like, okay, there is so much work put in there, and this has so much taste. You don't want really to take it in a gin tonic. Yeah. It was a really, really good gin tonic, but I think it's better to sip it.
Yeah. This is for me, this is one of the types of gins that we love to produce. And it's why we are gin fanatics as well as complete whiskey nerds. In that gin is so much fun.
Yeah.
We've tried 4 very different gins, and they're all different, but they're all unique and have their own place and time.
Yeah, that's right. And the base gin you use for the cask aged gin is always your Shortcross gin.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We find that particular gin recipe, it works really well with casks. Yeah, we like to use that. Plus, it's still, no matter what, our classic Shortcross is still my favorite of all of our gins. So
yeah.
I like to have fun with it.
Yeah, really good. Really good. Great. So I think you have definitely 4 really, really good gins, and people should buy them because, like the cask age, we don't have lots of bottles of that, and it's yeah, as you said, it's really special. And yeah, the last product we will taste is, I think, your really special whiskey. Because this is not a whiskey you've ever seen before from Ireland.
Yeah. Okay. So this is our Shortcross Ryan Malt Irish whiskey. So this whiskey, we took our inspirations from our travels. In 2017, we had been in Maryland, and we got to visit a lot of really cool American rye whiskey distilleries. And I kind of got into rye whiskey, and I wanted to sort of put an Irish twist on a rye whiskey. So we came home and we'd done a lot of research about trying where we could get rye, what works, what would maybe work, what wouldn't work. So we were really fortunate that we were able to get a supplier of malted Irish rye. And then we combined that during the brewing process. So we use between 35 and 50% malted rye. And then the balance is malted barley. This whiskey then we double distill in both our large 1,750 litre Furley pot still from Italy, and then also our original 450 litre copper pot still, which is still one of the smallest whiskey stills used in Ireland. And if I'm honest, it's still my favorite, no matter what anyone says.
Yeah.
And we then had to think about what sort of casks we would use for this whiskey. And I'm not always a fan of just everyone using sherry or port or whatever. I'm quite interested in new oak, so virgin oak, and not just virgin American oak, but the different types of European oak, and also the different types of American oak. So for this product, we aged it in virgin chinkapin oak, and the chinkapin, rather than being about sweet vanilla that everyone associates with American white oak, it's actually about almonds and dark fudge. And the almond element comes from the fact that the acorn of chinkapin actually tastes like sweet almonds. So when you nose the chinkapin element on its own, it's almost as if you're nosing a really sweet sherry cask. That nuttiness that you get with the sherry, it's a very, very similar note. And then we also use first fill bourbon. So it goes into chinkapin and bourbon, and then we marry the casks when we come to bottling. So we get the chinkapin gives us the structure, dark fudge, spice, and then the bourbon brings the sweetness, the vanilla notes, and just sort of balances out everything. So it is a very unique whiskey. It's a whiskey, when we distilled it the first time, we knew it was going to be really good, because what people don't realize is malted rye isn't that sort of dry, herbaceous, slightly dusty flavor that everyone think you get with raw rye. Malted rye is all about the fruit. It's really fruity, much more fruity than if it was a single malt distillate or an Irish pot still distillate. And it was just really, really interesting. And then the spice is a lot lighter. So you get the beauty of this fruitness of the rye, and also the spice is a little bit more constrained.
Okay. Now I know why it tastes like it tastes. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we try some?
Yeah. So Tina already says she loves this whiskey. So yeah. I think
I'm glad Tina's enjoying it. I know when she got to visit us in July, she was looking forward to getting home to her bottle.
Yeah. Yes, because the bottle was on the way to her during the visit at your distillery. So yeah.
Okay, so I've got my my whiskey glass now.
Yeah.
So you'll see the color is this is all natural color. So all the color here is all coming from the cask. And when I swirl the glass, you can see how thick and oily the whiskey is. Yes. So on the nose, I get that dry, herbaceous rye note coming through.
Yeah.
It's definitely not malt. It's not pot still.
No. This is rye.
Yeah, and I get then the fruitiness, there's some fruitiness from the rye starts to come through behind that.
Yeah. I'm really looking forward. On Saturday we have whiskey dinner at the Land Hotel Wulmflik in Fulda, and so we have that every year. And we do, as the chef is doing a 5-course menu, and I'm presenting 6 whiskeys. And then, so we have like a blend as a starter, and then I combine the whiskeys to the courses. And I'm really looking forward to combine this to one of the courses. This will be amazing.
I look forward to seeing how it's used.
Yes.
But you'll notice now that the whiskey's had a little bit of time, it really starts to open up and more fudge and spice come out on the nose.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so we'll try a little taste.
Yeah. Yes.
I get nice sweet stem ginger to the fore. Some dark chocolate comes through. Then sort of a nice green apple note. And then the dark fudge of the chinkapin starts to build up. And that just layers between, it sort of floats between dark chocolate, fudge, a little bit of milk chocolate. And then that green apple note is sort of all the way through, just in the background. And it's just that nice light spice then from the rye.
Yeah. Yeah. And what I like is it's really long lasting. So you get to taste it and taste it and taste it again. So
yeah. And we bottle this whiskey at 46% ABV. But again, even at that strength, it's a very smooth whiskey. It doesn't need a lot of water. If you want to add water to it, it's perfectly fine on its own. I think it's best on its own, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah. I definitely wouldn't add any water there. Yeah. I think it's good as it is. And 46%, it's like a drinking strength. So here in Germany, the Germans always drink a bit higher ABV than the Irish people. Yeah. So like 46%, a good whiskey is starting. So
yeah, no, I try to avoid anything at 40.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, I think it's perfect. Yeah, you don't need to add water. Yeah. So really nice. And so this will stay as your core range whiskey.
Yes, so this is our first core expression.
Yeah.
As I said, it's a whiskey that we've really loved making. It's a really accessible whiskey. It's really versatile as well. So we have been experimenting with cocktails with this as well, be it as a Manhattan or as an old fashioned. So it is quite flexible. And what I also get over time with this is I get a really nice sort of orangey marmalade note that sort of sits on the finish. That means it lends as well for anything that has an orange or citrus component in a cocktail. So the likes of a whiskey sour.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. So yeah, now they're talking here in the comments like Petra wanted to visit you, but you're a bit too far away. Now Tina is recommending it's not far away from Belfast. Yeah.
No, we're only 17 miles south of Belfast, so 35 minutes will have you from the center of Belfast to our distillery.
Yeah.
So we're
And
really accessible.
yes, you are situated in Northern Ireland,
Yes.
and I think you were the first Northern Northern Ireland distillery who did peated whiskey again.
Yeah, so
Right?
back in early 2016, we began distilling single malt, peated single malt whiskey. I'm a massive fan of peated whiskey. It's something that Fiona and I really love and enjoy. And so we're the first distillery officially since 1972 to produce peated malt in Northern Ireland.
Okay, wow, that's good. Yeah, and there are still not really many others who are doing peated Irish whiskey in Northern Ireland.
At the time, everyone said we were crazy. No one would want peated Irish whiskey. Now everyone wants peated Irish whiskey.
Yes, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I know when we are just getting back some years, no one did peated Irish whiskey. And I started in 2011 and did my first trade show here in Germany in 2012. And the nearly most selling whiskey was Connemara. And this was the peated Irish whiskey because here the Germans all love peated Irish whiskey. And I started with Irish whiskey because I don't like peated whiskey. And now I have to change because nearly everybody's doing peated whiskey. But for us, it's good because Germans like peated Irish whiskey. And I think they like the big chain between unpeated and peated and what's all in between and what you can do. And yeah.
Peat is it's like the fifth sense. It's like that unaminess, that marries everything together. And sometimes you can describe it, sometimes you can't.
Yeah.
But it's just that special quality. And we're quite lucky now that we've probably got the second oldest stocks of peated malt in Ireland.
Wow.
So we have some really interesting things to come with that.
Yeah, I think I know a bit about what you're doing, and I think we can really look forward to the future, what will come from your distillery. I think you have a good range of gins already, and I think you will also get a very good range of whiskey. Yeah. We have another question. If you are doing pot still whiskey also.
Yes, we are not designed as a pot still whiskey distillery from the brewing process, but yes, we do make a small amount every year. Our pot still whiskies are primarily double distilled, so they're on that very sort of heavy style of pot still. So they're very spice driven. You get that lovely linseed and tobacco leaf notes that come through with it. So we only make a small amount, but that small amount is really special.
Okay, really good. Good to know. Yeah, so what I said, I think we can expect really nice whiskeys in the future from your distillery, I think. Mm-hmm. Yes, and the first time you will be attending our Irish Whiskey Wochenende in November. And I'm really looking forward to this. And maybe we can tell people that there will be something really special in your set, so they can look forward to it.
Yeah. Well, look, we've been very quiet doing what we do, because we believe you should only talk about something when you've got something to talk about.
Yeah.
And now we're a small team. We've got some really special whiskies. And for us, Fiona and I are really excited about sharing that with everyone now.
Yes, I'm also really looking forward to have you on the weekend. So we are doing lots of background work here at the moment. Hopefully the sets will be on sale in about 2 weeks. So then everyone can pre-order already the sets because they are all in a limited quantity. So yeah, and then I'm really looking forward to have you there as a part of this weekend. And yeah, Tina will definitely be there at the weekend. Looking forward to the Irish Whiskey Weekend. Yes, Tina. So yeah, thank you very much for taking your time, taking us through your products and your distillery. It's really interesting what you were doing there. And maybe we can just say again, everyone can go to the Rademon Estate Distillery, visit you.
Yeah.
I think you offer tours.
Yeah, it's no problem. Does anyone have any questions just before we finish?
Yes. If there are any more questions, please feel free to ask. And maybe you can just tell a bit about the tours. Just are you offering different tours, or is it like just come around? Or
okay, no, all of our tours are pre-booked, so they run on a Friday and a Saturday. So we do one tour that covers our gin making and our gin and tonic masterclass as part of that. Then we have two types of whiskey tours. We have a regular tour that we take people through the process and tasting. As part of the tasting, actually, people get to try our Irish poitín. And we use that to show how much flavor we create from the brewing and distilling process. And then they will try one of our whiskies with that. But we also do a more in-depth tour with myself, which is all about the flavor making journey of how every step of the whiskey making process influences the flavors that ultimately end up in our glass. So we've been having a lot of fun with the small groups of people that come on that, but it's all about being able to give the personal touch, you know. So that's
really good. Yeah, so it sounds really interesting. So we have one more question about the Irish Whiskey Weekend. So the Irish Whiskey Weekend is an online event. The website is called irish-whiskey-wochenende.de, and all tastings will be held online, and you can pre-order your tasting set. And as I have seen, Petra is living in Ireland. We can also ship to Ireland. That's no problem. You can also order. Yeah. Great. So, and Claudia is also in there in November. Great. That's nice. Yeah. So I think there are no more questions. So thank you very much.
Nope, no problem. Really interesting. It's lovely to meet everyone online.
Yes. And so we will see us online again in November at the latest.
Yes, perfect.
Yeah.
Well, look, have a nice evening, everyone.
Bye.
Right. Sláinte.
Sláinte.